Okay, I promise you I'm going to show you how I set up ClickUp for my clients. The first thing that I do is I go to the ClickApps. All right, ClickApps. So this is my recommended settings. Okay, ClickUp has AI. We're using it, but not everybody needs to use it. The caveat with ClickUp AI is that it's paid per user, and not everybody uses or needs it, right? Unfortunately, there is no option to make it like a per user basis. So everybody will get billed for all the users for AI. And I think it's like $7. I'm not sure if they've increased it to 15, but when we got it, it's only $5 per user. So definitely turn on automation, and good for you. And this is, I think this is just one of the reasons as well while I bank and build the business around ClickUp, because they are just so committed to improving the product. Like every week there's something new. So I always have to train our VAs and their whole team to the new features of ClickUp, because every week they roll out new features. And just recently they rolled out chat. And I'm very excited with that because our team also uses Slack and WhatsApp and Telegram and all of the communication tools. So this is going to be a game changer because potentially we can eventually leave and abandon Slack and use ClickUp for the chat functionality, right? So that makes it even more centralized because we don't have to go out of ClickUp to do or to communicate with our team. This has just been recently rolled out. I think it's rolled out to everybody because we're one of the early adopters and we already have a lot of spaces and lists in here. It took us a lot of time before to get this access. So I'm quite excited about that. But I think all the new accounts now, if you subscribe today, you will have access to chat. Okay, so you can you no longer need to do WhatsApp with your team or text them because you have a chat and you can reference all the projects and the tasks as well in here. So like you can tag the particular project that you're talking about. So it just streamlines the project management and the communication around the projects, right? So that's really exciting. So I'm excited to try that out. ClickUp, it also has like a Loom functionality. So you don't have to pay for a subscription for Loom. And this is very helpful because it makes it easier to provide instructions to your team members or to provide feedback, especially if the process is digital, right? And if you need to click or show the process using your screen, then it just fast tracks, providing clarity to what you needed or what you want to say to your team members. So screen recording is already built in. You don't have to pay for that. It's no additional cost. So we use that a lot as well. Connected search, I'm not sure. I think this is only available to a certain subscription, but I would turn this on because this is very helpful. You can even find, if your Google Drive is connected in ClickUp, you can search for files in here. You don't have to go to Google Drive to do it. All right. Custom fields, I would turn this on. And this is important. You can manually sort the custom fields. Make sure that you do that. All right. So that you can dictate how your custom fields should be shown in the order that you like. So turn that on. Custom task IDs. This is not usually used, but we use it for workspace outsourcing. We use it for the job IDs. So you can opt out of this. It's not important. Anyway, ClickUp has task IDs already, so that should be enough. Default private views, please turn that off. If you're using dependencies, then please check this. And then ClickUp, if you have a paid subscription, you can connect up to 2 email accounts. And anything additional, I think you pay $2 per month for the email account. So what does that mean? For us, we connected our Google account here, our Gmail. So that means we can send an email from within ClickUp. But once we send that, it will still appear in the sent items in Gmail. All right. And if somebody replies on the same thread, we will also get it from ClickUp. We will also get it in Gmail. So that means we don't have to go out of ClickUp to do emails or communication. And also, I like this feature because I don't have to provide access to my email for the team to get context, or to get context of the conversation, or what's the last email was sent to the client, and they can pick up the conversation as well. So you can provide access to the emails to your paid members or your tier members. But if you want, I think in my case, my email is only accessible to me. So the emails coming from ClickUp, I can only I can access that. But we also have another account that can be used by some or our team members. So we have a generic account that we can use. And I think also HR has an email here so that they can send candidates the reminders or email notifications. Jiffy, that's all right. You can turn that on if you like that. Incomplete warning, turn that on. Lineup is a bit advanced for now. If you're starting, don't use it for now. All right. This is better used for complex teams. And if you have like direct reports. So if you're a manager, if you're managing multiple direct reports, then lineup might be helpful for you to help them prioritize what they need to work on. But I don't usually turn that on whenever I'm setting up ClickUp. Multiple assignees, definitely yes. Nested subtasks. So here you can nest up to 7 levels of subtasks in ClickUp, but I would just keep it to 3. It gets too complicated if it's that deep. All right, maybe 3 is already, I think that would be the max that I would suggest. Turn this on. And then if you're using Microsoft Office, you can also use this. Priority, turn that on. Pulse, it's okay. But we also have Discord and Slack. So we already know it's nice to have, but you don't really need it. This is important. Please turn this off. Turn this off because we don't want anybody to just change the status whenever they like. All right, we don't want that to be accessible. So please turn this off. Relationship, turn that on. Remap, subtask due dates if you're using subtask and dependencies, yes. Reschedule dependencies if you're using Gantt chart and dependencies as well. And then show status progress. I think for me it's good. So you will see this is a visual representation of the progress of a task. So you have a pie chart. I'll show you later if we have more time. But yeah, this is good. Now, sprint points and sprints, please turn that off unless you are in a development team and you're using sprint points, or you're in an agile, you're using the agile methodology for project management. But to start off, to make it simple, you don't need that, so you can turn that off. Tags, please turn that on. Task in multiple lists. Again, this is only available to, I think, Business Plus. And we are on business account, business subscription. And this is very helpful. This is very helpful. I'm going to show you, hopefully I can show you the use case for task in multiple lists. We have a lot, but this is very important to us. This is the reason why we subscribe to the higher plan, which is Business Plus. And then time estimates, this is going to be great, especially for project managers if you want to provide time estimates to certain tasks, if you're delegating tasks to direct reports as well, or team members. So you can provide a time estimate on, it will serve as a budget for a task. So let's say, okay, please create a blog, allocate 1 hour for that. You can use time estimate for that matter. So turn that on. And then time tracking. Again, this is one of the reasons business owners are switching to ClickUp, because ClickUp already has a time tracking feature. And if you are going to use time tracker outside, let's say Time Doctor, I think I'm not sure how much is that. I think it's more than, I think it's $12 per user. So if you have 20 users, that's a lot. So in ClickUp, you're maybe paying $12 per user, but you already have time tracking, you already have Loom recording, you already have all the chat. So you don't have to pay extra for all the other subscriptions. So it saves a lot. And also, team members, they actually like using the time tracking in ClickUp. It has been like a breath of fresh air for some of our team members, because some of the agencies, they use, let's say, Upwork Tracker or Time Doctor or Hubstaff. And those time trackers, they do like screenshots or snapshots of your screen. They take a picture of you, and they track the keyboard strokes or the mouse movement, your mouse movement. And if you are not moving your mouse or your keyboard, which is true sometimes if you're thinking, if you're brainstorming, if you're doing meetings, right? But it will report you as unproductive if you're not doing that. So here, ClickUp doesn't have that functionality, and thank God it doesn't, because it's more a chill type of a more relaxed time tracking mechanism, right? You don't have to watch out for, take your pictures getting taken when you're not ready. And this is very. I also had an experience where, because I was like a young mom, I was breastfeeding, and it was hard. It was hard to keep track of when the camera would take pictures, right? So it's a bit distracting as well. It's not productive for me to use time trackers like that. And it becomes disjointed. I don't really recommend business owners to use a separate time tracker. Why? Because the tendency is that it separates the productivity, because instead of just using ClickUp for your day to day, you're more concerned about your time tracking, because that's where your payroll is going to come from, right? So what happens is that, yes, they mark it as complete in the time tracker, but they forget about ClickUp. They forget about updating ClickUp and adding comments in there. So there's a bit of conflict there of interest, because um, it's just not efficient to use two systems all day, right? So if you can centralize, again, make it simple, use just one tool for everything, then yeah, your work becomes easier in a way. It becomes easier to do your work on a daily basis. All right. Total time and status, so it's online. So yeah, those are just like the rest are just secondary or optional, but those are just my strong recommendation. Definitely, multiple lists, tasks and multiple lists, and priorities not started. So just take note of that when you're setting up ClickUp for your clients.